unload my mouth. You can't.
You got a load in your mouth?
I can't even spit it out. This is.
You can't spit out the balls.
You could
chocolate.
You could do this.
Chocolate. What could you do with the balls?
No, you would open them. You could put them in your hand.
Show me that again.
It's like those. What are they called? Those malty balls.
Malty balls.
The malty balls are called Whoppers.
Whoppers. Good thick balls. Let me roll around the balls in my mouth. That's what it should be called. Old Whopper balls.
Big hands, big cans.
19. Big hands, big cans. That's what Gumbo Mud's all about.
You need big hands to handle the big cans.
That's right. Obviously, you had more head. My head wasn't as big. Never is. A big Whopper ball. You got a load in your mouth.
A beer.
Oh, a load of beer in your mouth, not a load of balls. I'm not a malty ball girl.
I'm not.
Spit out the balls. Hi everyone.
I'm Janet.
I'm Jason.
We're
Gumbo Mud. We're here
for dark beer.
And today we have from Port Brewing.
Old Viscosity.
Old Viscosity.
Which is an Imperial Stout.
Yes, I love this can. I love the picture on this can. I love everything about this can.
Yes, that's cool.
It's super cool. Growing up on a farm in Louisiana, this looks like an old international truck, which people probably today don't even know what that is, but they made tractors and things like that. But
that would be me. I don't know
yeah. But International, which makes combines and tractors and things like that, actually made trucks and big dump trucks and things like that. And this just reminds me of growing up on the farm in Louisiana, where I was trekking with a shovel through Gumbo Mud on a rice farm all the time. And we would always, there was no Jiffy Lubes around. There were nothing like that around. So you had to change the oil in your cars, tractors,
Oh, you change
trucks.
oil in a tractor?
Just like you do in a car. Yeah, you just.
It probably sounds like a bonehead comment.
Yes.
But how would I know?
Yeah, you just go to the oil pan, you undo the plug, but what would come out is this old, worn out, dark oil, right? And you'd replace the oil, but it was always darker, obviously, from running in an engine for 3,000, 5,000, 10,000 miles. It'd be so dark. It's like Old Viscosity. So I love the name. I love everything about it because I just love dark beer, and it reminds me of what that used to look like coming out compared to.
I know. Oh, I appreciate your story. I'm sorry I'm cutting you off, but the oil that's coming out of your beat up tractor that's worked for countless hours.
Right.
Does that make you want to drink?
Not drink that. It's just nostalgic. It's just like. That's how you grew up. You would get oil all over your hands. You were always working. It was like a workman's.
It's almost like you need a beer after accomplishing working in the tractor or emptying the oil from.
Right, replacing oil, just hard working on a farm.
Okay, I like that.
Shoveling Gumbo Mud. It's the perfect. It's the perfect complement to how I grew up. So the name, the logo, everything about the can, I just love. And this is from Port Brewing here in California, and I grew up in Louisiana. So for them to make something that's kind of nostalgic and just cool, when I grew up, I love. So short story.
Yes, I like it.
Yeah, it's cool. So about the brewery.
Okay, so this particular beer, Old Viscosity, is brewed and canned at Port Brewing in San Marcos.
Yeah.
It has a enormously rich and satisfying beer that starts with a malty caramel nose with chocolate overtones.
Yeah.
It's a rich beer and has substantial malty notes and a dry, sweet, dark chocolate bitterness. So a lot going on.
Yeah, it's a lot going on, and I know they've had Old Viscosity for a long time. They started in 2006, Port Brewing, and you know, they spent like the brewer there, Tommy Arthur, spent 10 years at Pizza Port Brewing, which is one of my favorite breweries, before they opened basically in collaboration with Lost Abbey and Port Brewing. But Old Viscosity has been around for a while. I remember having it, and it went away for a while, which happens sometimes, but then they brought it back, and now it's available year round, which I love. And it's available not in a bomber, not in a 16 ounce, but a 19.2 ounce, which I love, because the price on it is great. I think I got this for like $6 or $7.
You know what's cool though, in the display of beer, sometimes it can be like, you know, a whole wall of beauty, right? You see all these beers.
A whole wall of beauty.
Seriously. Like crazy labels, but this one stands out because of the unique amount of ounces. So
yeah, it's a unique size can, and for 10%, it's priced almost like a 7 or 8, which I love, and it's such a great beer. So Port Brewing started, like I said, in 2006, and in 2007 they went to the Best Beer Festival that's been around, I think, for almost the longest time here in the West, the Great American Beer Festival in Denver.
Yes.
And Port Brewing won, after only a year of opening, won the Best Brewery of the Year, Small Brewery of the Year, in that short amount of time. So Port Brewing, Lost Abbey is one of our favorite breweries here in San Diego. Everything they make is just unbelievable. It's crazy. So yeah, they've won multiple awards. They're constantly winning awards. So
well deserved.
Well deserved.
For sure. So overall, Port Brewing is ranked as one of the top 10 breweries in the nation by experts in the industry and beer drinkers like you and I. They, besides beer, they have their oak bourbon, brandy, sherry, wine barrels, all award-winning, and their distribution now is in major cities, metropolitan areas throughout the country.
Throughout the country,
And, you know, it allows people coast to coast to try their beers and appreciate like we do.
Yeah, this is 2019, and last year, 2018, they actually expanded. I had a good friend who was working next door to them. They moved, their lease was up, so they moved, and Port Brewing took over their space. So where they're originally at, they just expanded that space, and now they have an extensive barrel room where, like you said, they have all these different barrels, whether it's sherry, bourbon, brandy, wine, that they're making all these barrel-aged beers, kind of like AleSmith does. AleSmith's famous for all these barrel-aged beers, especially bourbon. Well, Lost Abbey and Port are doing the same thing, which we love because they always use dark beer to do those beers. So we can't wait to even try those beers too. So and a fun fact about this, because of their barrel age, all the barrel aged beers that they're doing, they actually do a barrel aged version of Old Viscosity called Older Viscosity.
I know, which I thought was funny.
It's funny, So this one's 10%. Older Viscosity is 12%. And it's in a bourbon barrel. So that means, you know, bourbon, you get a little sweeter. Like the bourbon barrels can get super sweet. It does still have that kind of whiskey bourbon scent, which I'm not a whiskey drinker, but I do appreciate when they tone down the aroma and you get the sweetness come through with the bourbon barrel, which Lost Abbey and obviously AleSmith and other people that do a lot of the bourbon barrels do that. So yeah, it's great.
So just be careful. Like, it depends what you're looking for. There's Old Viscosity and Older Viscosity. We're reviewing today Old Viscosity.
The non-bourbon barrel. So
as far as the locations for Port Brewing, they have their main tasting room in San Marcos, California,
which has the bourbon barrel and where they expanded.
And where this particular beer was brewed and canned. They opened in 2006 and have a vast majority of beers on tap, usually around 26, 28, something like that. And then they have their newest location in Cardiff by the Sea, which is called Lost Abbey.
Called the Confessional.
The Confessional,
So anytime you go into Lost Abbey, and that's why it's one of our favorite breweries, Lost Abbey Port, is they always have 5, 6, 7 darks on. You know, they'll have Serpent Stout, they'll have Santa's Little Helper, they'll have Old Viscosity, they have Board Meeting. They have, and then they always have them on, which we love. So when we go there, we know we can always get the staples, and then they might have something new, which we love. So, I mean, Dead Man's Game is a bourbon barrel that comes out every now and then. You'll go in there, all of a sudden they'll have it, and it's so good too. So, yeah, they have a wide variety of beers. So, yeah. So you ready?
I'm ready.
To try? Oh, Viscosity.
Yes.
Woo.
Okay.
I'm going to pour this one for you because it's a big can, which I love.
Big hands, big cans.
19. Big hands, big cans. That's what Gumbo Mud's all about.
You need big hands to handle the big cans.
That's right. Oh.
So as you pour this, this is bizarre. This is kind of like random Jeopardy facts. Like some people have like these random things, like my father, that you just know. So when he told me we were gonna do Old Viscosity, I was like, Viscosity, like why does that name, it keeps like resonating something with me, and I'm like, what does that remind me of? Okay. And it clicked. Okay. Which I'm a little embarrassed to share, but you know me. Okay. Here it goes. So Viscosity is, if you've ever had a sperm analysis, viscosity is one of the things they test. Of course. Your sperm for. Yeah, the thickness, So you get like pH, you know, I don't know all the things, but like viscosity is one of them. So when I hear Old Viscosity, I think old sperm. You want young viscosity, right? You don't want old viscosity. Anyway, I kept thinking, like, you know, a few days ago, I knew we were going to do this beer, and I was like, viscosity, like, why is that like standing out in my head? So viscosity is one of those things that I think it originates in motor oil. And it's the thickness of motor oil. If you have a 4-cylinder, you don't need as much viscosity as like an 8-cylinder, or like a Lamborghini, a 12-cylinder. You need more viscosity, you have more cylinders, you need a thicker oil because the engine's running, there's so much more horsepower that you have more wear and tear on the metals. So you need a thicker viscosity oil. Well, what would you say came first, the motor oil or the sperm? The sperm. It's like the chicken or the egg, right? Well, obviously the sperm came first. Okay, but then I would say this. Is originally the word viscosity is what I remember it came from motor oil. Yes, now based on their picture. Right, and just based on from history. Now viscosity might have come from something else, but the thickness of viscosity was with motor oil. Why I love it with dark beer, and why I think it's a perfect name for a beer, because we have 8, 12%, 13, 14% beers, 5, 6, and the viscosity, the thickness, the body of the beer makes a big difference. And for us, the thicker viscosity beer we love. So I love the name. I love Port Brewing. So yeah, I'm anxious to give this a try. So appearance, what do you think? The appearance, the lacing doesn't move. The appearance is amazing. Like, that's beautiful lacing. It's kind of like a masterpiece, like very clingy, still a nice head after all this time of pouring. Poured dark. Yeah, it pours very dark. It almost pours darker than a 10 to me. When I was pouring it, it looked a little thicker than a 10, but true 10. As far as the reference of motor oil, I have never changed my own. I would like to know if anybody would like to school me. I would love to know how to do it in the event I need to. But it's very dark. The lacing's crazy. Indicative of a 10% beer. So I think it's spot on, and I give it a 10. A 10? A 10. How about that? I like it so much. You've gone past the 5 to a 10. It's that thick. I would give it a 5. 5, yeah. Well, I poured yours first, which obviously you had more head. So, but like the lacing, it hasn't moved. It's literally clinging to the glass. When I poured it super thick, my head wasn't as big. Never is. But it hasn't moved either. So from pouring it to the lacing to the head, I give it a 5. Yeah, I would give it a 10 if we went up to 10, like Janet, but I give it a 5. See, I like it so much. I like it so much, I'm doubling it. Yeah. Port Brewing, they
brew such great beer. It's not surprising that the lacing's not even moving. It's crazy. So
I love beers that lace like that.
Yes.
You know, I'm.
It's a good thick lacing too.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful to me. Like it actually looks like lace.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So what do you think about it?
Appropriately named.
Yeah. Aroma? You smell motor oil?
I do not smell motor oil.
Yeah, there's not much description as far as a lot of cans we get have chocolate or cocoa nibs or coconut or vanilla. This is just viscosity Imperial Stout.
I smell
That's all it is.
like a lot of oak, an oak smell.
Okay.
A dark espresso type coffee. And a lot of like maltiness, like a malt,
Yes.
a malty powder.
Heavy malt. Heavy dark malt.
Yeah, that's about all I'm getting right now. Nothing too sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, but those things are standing out to me in the aroma.
Yeah, I'm getting the heavy malt. Yeah, it's a thick malt, which viscosity. And a little bit of bitterness. I'm not getting anything sweet or coffee or chocolate or anything like that. It's just I think malty is even more than the bitterness. It's a little bitter, but it's
heavy on the malt.
Heavy on the malt, but clean smelling. Not much aroma to it though, right? Yeah. So what do you give aroma?
I'm gonna go with a 4 on the aroma.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it.
Yeah.
But I like a lot of complex, multi-layered flavors, and I'm only getting, just a few on the nose.
I'm going to give it a 3 because I don't get much.
Okay.
I like the aroma. It's just I don't get much.
Yes.
And I want more. I want something, whether it's coffee or chocolate or vanilla or coconut or whatever.
Yes.
I'd like to have something.
Yeah.
But it smells very clean, and it smells a thick malt, which I like.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's just I'm not getting much of it.
I
but it
agree.
smells very clean. The carbonation is not too strong either. So I like that too. So I'm going to give it a taste.
Okay, I'm ready.
The lacing is still just hasn't moved. It's crazy. Like,
Very good.
what are you getting? What kind of flavors?
The first thing that comes to mind is what I smelled initially was heavy maltiness.
The malt. Yeah.
It's almost like there's a little smokiness going on, but the maltiness is the dominant flavor. A little bit of chocolate. It's almost like
The Baker's bitter chocolate, or is it?
It's like those what are they called? Those malty balls.
Malty balls. What do they call those malty balls?
Malt, they're like, it's a candy. It's like a malty. I don't traditionally like malty candy, so it's a malty milk ball.
I think they call malty balls in Venezuela different than they call malty balls in Barcelona or Moscow. So what malty balls are you talking about?
I just thought of
The one that comes in the milk jugs, those malty balls. Remember those?
I thought of what they're called.
What?
The balls are called, the malty balls are called Whoppers.
Whoppers.
Not Whoppers. I can't even spit it out. This is,
You can't spit out the balls. Janet, spit out the balls.
it tastes like malted Whopper ball.
Malted Whopper balls. That's
You know
what it
what I
should be
mean?
called. Old Whopper balls.
Have you ever had a Whopper?
Have I ever had a Whopper?
A Whopper ball?
A Whopper ball.
Not a Whopper like a Burger King Whopper. A Whopper.
I remember my mom buying the paper milk jugs that you would open like milk, but it was Whopper.
Yeah, you could
chocolate.
you could do this.
Chocolate. What could you do with the balls?
No, you would open them. You could put them in your hand.
Show me that again. You could open them and put them in your hand and do that. Wow, what a great marketing campaign. Whopper balls.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if I want to try it now.
You do. No.
But that's what it tastes like. Chocolate.
Maybe I'm way off. It tastes like Whopper.
Balls.
I think they're called Whopper.
I think you're called what?
Whopper ball.
They're all called Whopper chocolate balls.
Yes.
Right. And that's what they taste like?
That's what I think it tastes like.
Let me roll around the balls in my mouth.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not getting much chocolate. It's a bitterness. It's good thick beer though. It's good thick balls. It's good thick chocolate balls. No. No, it's you can spit it out. Spit out the balls.
I have a load in my mouth. You can't.
You got a load in your mouth? You got a load in your mouth.
A beer.
Oh, a load of beer in your mouth, not a load of balls. Okay. Go.
Oh my goodness, my face.
I don't know. I don't remember what they taste like. I was really young when my mom bought them, and I don't remember what they taste like.
Everything malty has that distinct malt taste. Like if you like malted milkshakes or malted milk balls, like it's a very distinct taste. Like I usually stray from that. It tastes great in a beer. Yeah. But as far as candy, I go for a dark chocolate or occasionally a milk chocolate. I'm not a malty chocolate.
You're not a multi-ball girl?
I'm not a multi-ball girl.
Multi-ball girl. Multi-ball girl, sorry.
A multi-ball.
Multi-ball girl. Multi. Yeah.
It tastes great in a beer, though. Like, it's super complimentary in this beer.
Yeah, it's a really good beer. It's a nice 10%. It tastes like 10% to me. It just has that little bitterness.
It's very bitter.
I don't remember what the malted balls taste like, the Whoppers. The big Whopper balls. I don't remember what they taste like. If they were sweet or bitter, I don't remember. But this has that bitter espresso kind of finish to it. But there's some chocolate in it too.
Yeah.
Like it's a really good beer.
I'm telling you, you need to go back. We're gonna go and we're gonna get you some Whoppers.
And give me some chocolate balls.
Some Whopper balls.
Don't they sell those at movie theaters?
So
same ones? Is that the same ones?
In the movie theaters, they come in like the traditional rectangle box. Yeah. But I think if you still buy them, I don't know. Like it's not my thing.
I don't think either.
I think you still can get them in that.
The milk carton.
Yes.
But it's the same brand. It's the same Whoppers.
Whoppers.
Whoppers. Whoppers. Whoppers. Why do I want to say Whoppers?
No.
I bet that's how I pronounced it when I was young. Can I have a Whopper ball? Can I have 2 Whopper balls? Well, I don't want to say Whopper.
I have no idea.
This is before Burger King.
Yeah.
Whopper.
I have no idea.
Yeah. Whopper room, maybe. I don't know.
That's a romper room.
I know. I know.
Oh, you Louisianians or whatever you're called.
I know.
Boy, oh boy.
I know. So what do you give the taste? What do you give the taste of the Whopper balls?
Straight balls. 5 balls.
Straight balls. 5 balls. What do you give the taste?
The taste, it's kind of middle of the road for me. Okay. I like it. It's a little more than middle of the road. Yeah. I think it's really smooth, easy to sip, easy to drink.
That's good.
The maltiness is heavy. Heavy on the maltiness.
Yeah.
Heavy
but
bitterness.
It's that dark roasted malty. Yeah.
You know, I like it. Yeah. So I said middle of the road, which would be a 3, but I'm gonna go a 4.
Me too.
It's really smooth and well blended, and it goes down easy.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 4 too. If it was a little sweeter, I'd probably give it a 5.
I think so too.
Because I just like sweet beers. But if you like bitter beers, and this isn't extremely bitter, but it's a nice bitter, which I actually like. I just like my fives, my beers, to be sweet.
Yes.
I want that sweet taste to them. But I really like this beer. It's thick. It's malty, like you said. It has that chocolate kind of espresso taste to it, and it's good. I really like it. So as far as the body and the texture, the lacing is still just sticking to the glass.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 5
on the body.
Yeah, I think
so. 10%. It's a 10% beer.
It's another 10%.
It's another.
I'm giving it a 10.
I'm giving it a 10
another
out
10,
of 5. Yeah.
Which is code for 5.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Yeah. I think it's beautifully brewed.
Yeah.
I think they put a lot of heart and soul into this beer. The lacing is still incredible. It's a really smooth, silky, satisfying texture.
Yeah.
And like I said, I already would like another.
Yeah.
So I'm going with a 5.
Going to 5. I'm going to go with a 5 too. Even as we sit here drinking it, it's warming up. The bitterness is going away a little bit, and it's getting smoother, which I like. We talk a lot about the complexity of beers, and you like layered beers. You like complexity beers, as I do. As it's warming, the bitterness is kind of going away a little bit for me, and it's getting smoother, which happens a lot with dark beers when they start warming up. So,
you know what's so crazy? Like, anytime I'm going to have a beer, the colder the better. Like, I want my beer like a step below freezing. But I've learned, I only drink dark beer, so I've learned to appreciate the flavors as they do become room temperature and warm, and the flavors just pop and become so much more prominent and pronounced. So if you're like me and you like it ice cold, just give it time, you know, and just appreciate the stages throughout.
And it's a great attribute of a good brewer is as it warms, the flavors come out more. They change a little bit. It's very complex. It's a very structured beer that has different layers. And I mean, we wouldn't expect anything more from port because they're such great brewers that it's such an amazing beer, and it's getting smoother as it warms. It's not even a bourbon barrel, which that happens a lot with bourbon barrels. As they warm, the vanilla comes out and they get smoother, or coffee or whatever, and they just smooth out a lot. And this beer that's what it's doing. It's not even barrel aged. So
you know what it reminds me of? The old adage or saying that it's the gift that keeps on giving. Like, it is. Like, you just keep getting more and more as you drink it. So
it's definitely a great sipping beer because of that, and it changes. And so so we both give it a 5 for body and texture. What about the finish?
The finish, I'm going to go with a 4.5. Like, overall, I enjoy the finish. It's slightly bitter, which takes me to my 4.5 rather than a 5. If it was just a tiny bit sweeter, maybe just a pinch less on the multi-ball.
The multi-balls.
But overall, I really enjoy it. Would definitely recommend this to others. Would have another. It's a sipper. It's, you know, it's not a downer. And I enjoy it. So 4.5 for me.
I'm going to give it a 4.5 too, actually. I was going to give it a 4. But as we're sitting here drinking, the bitterness is going away. The finish of that bitterness is actually not present anymore. It's actually getting sweeter on the finish as I'm drinking it, which is surprising. And so I'm not a big bitter person. I don't like bitter that much. But as it's warming, I'm not getting the bitterness on the finish. It's finishing very clean and crisp and kind of just dissipates off your palate. So I'm really liking that. So for
very dry finish. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Very dry. And another thing I always like to note is whether or not I can taste the alcohol, I cannot. It's very well masked. How about you?
Yeah, the same thing. Like, it's a big, heavy beer, and the maltiness, I think, masks the alcohol. You really, you really don't taste it. You just taste a nice, thick, malty beer that's very complex. And as it's warming, it's changing, which we love. So So for a total, what would you give this?
My overall rating for Old Viscosity was a 4.5.
Yeah, that's great. Out of 5. Really, really like this beer. I gave it a 4.3.
Nice.
Besides the aroma, I'm not getting much aroma. Everything else in every category was great. So Gumbo Mud totals a 4.4. We actually obviously love this beer. Besides the aroma of not getting much aroma, every other category just excels.
Satisfied, in every way.
And as we're drinking it, the bitterness of that finish just keeps going away, and it gets that drier, almost a little tiny sweetness to it, but it's starting to finish even better than when we first opened it, and it was cold now that it's
Yes.
warming, right?
I'm noticing that too.
Yeah. Yeah, it's amazing beer. So 4.4 Gumbo Mud rating. Love this beer. Love Port Brewing.
Yes.
Top 2 or 3 breweries that we love in San Diego easily. Yeah, just love Port Brewing and love going there. Love going to Lost Abbey Confessional there in Cardiff, and then going to the main tap room there in San Marcos. They've done an amazing job. We love going there. Love always having our favorite beers on tap. So
always.
So
let us know what you guys think in the comments below.
Yeah, please try it. Let us know what you think of it. If you like the video, click the like button, subscribe for more dark beer reviews. We're getting into more beers, all dark beers from Colorado, Oregon, New York, everywhere.
You name it.
You name it, we're going to review it here. So thank you guys so much, and look forward to seeing you next time.
Thank you so much, you guys. Bye.
Bye.